All right, so I'm in the car right now. If I pull the e-brake, it's gonna be hard to tell over video, but if you guys can tell, even just from the sound, like it is super numb. Like I can literally pull this like nothing. Like it basically feels like the e-brake is like just completely disconnected. What's going on YouTube? Today's actually gonna be a bit of a frustrating video. You can probably tell by the title and the thumbnail, BMW kind of screwed up on my car. Thankfully it's not too major, but it's just really frustrating and annoying, honestly. But yeah, let me just get into it. So I just want to say really quickly, if you guys aren't already, as always, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more videos, guys. Hitting the button definitely helps me out, and hit the notification bell while you're at it. It'll let you know whenever I upload a new video. Anyways, let me get into it. So if you guys saw one of my recent videos, you'd know that I took my BMW 435 into BMW for service. The reason why I did that instead of servicing the car myself is because I had this maintenance package with the car. Basically, BMW would have maintained it for free, at least until a certain time. It's actually going to expire in June. So I figured I'd capitalize on it before it expired. At the same time, I got a loaner car, got to make a couple videos about that car, which is pretty cool. Anyways, I went to go pick up the car from BMW. Everything seemed fine, except when I got home, I kind of realized there was something wrong with the car. And that was actually the e-brake. So the e-brake just literally wasn't working. Whenever you pull on the e-brake, it just felt numb. And it didn't work. Like literally, like you can put the car into drive, you can have the e-brake completely up, and the car would just roll and drive fine. Like the e-brake just was not working. So I thought that was a little strange. Honestly, at first I panicked. I was like, did something break in the car that was like maybe from before or something like that? Then I thought about it a little more. One of the things that they serviced on the car was actually the rear brake. Again, I went into a little more detail in my previous video. They did a couple other small things, but the largest thing that they did was they actually changed the rear brakes on this car. And I'm no mechanic, I'm no expert, but I do know that the rear brakes do house the e-brake as well. So when I kind of remember that, I kind of figured it had to have been something that BMW did. In other words, like it wasn't something that was wrong with the car before, like I brought it to BMW and I just didn't realize before because I always use the handbrake. The car isn't automatic, and I know a lot of people are like, you don't need the handbrake, but honestly, whenever I park the car, like I just like to pull up the e-brake just because it feels like the car just feels more solid. It doesn't rock. I don't like that feeling whenever you park and you just put into park and transmission. The car kind of like rocks a little bit. So anyways, I use the e-brake a lot, so I didn't know if it was something that was broken before or something that happened with BMW. Thinking back to the fact that BMW did service the rear brakes, I was like, it had to have been something related to BMW. Anyways, let me cut to a clip, guys. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm in the car right now. If I pull the e-brake, it's gonna be hard to tell over video, but if you guys can tell, even just from the sound, like it is super numb. Like I can literally pull this like nothing. Like you should normally be able to feel some type of like resistance, but this is literally like numb. Like it basically feels like the e-brake is like just completely disconnected. So another way I can show you guys is if I pull the e-brake, right, and I put the car, let's say, into reverse, just because I'm kind of, you know, like pulled into a spot right now, and I try rolling, the car is gonna roll. If you guys see that, like I'm not pressing on the gas, it's literally just rolling. So yeah, basically the car's in gear, the e-brake is completely up, as you guys can see. Even on the dash, like it shows the e-brake is on, but the e-brake clearly is not working. Again, I was not pressing on the gas. This is literally just the car rolling. It should not be able to do that with the e-brake up. Now, if I put the car into drive and I roll back into my parking spot, again, e-brake completely up. You can see I am rolling. So let me just make sure I don't like hit that thing over there. But yeah, as you guys can tell, like the car is moving with the e-brake again completely up. So again, when that first happened, I thought it was super weird. Again, I kind of remember the BMW did service the rear brakes. Let me show you guys that real quick. So if you guys see here, you can look at the rotors. They look brand spanking new. So yeah, they did change out those brakes over there. They also changed out the brake pads again, which is nice. I didn't have to pay for that because of the maintenance warranty. Again, I went into a little more detail in my previous video, but they did change these rear brakes. I'm no expert, I'm no mechanic, I'm just some dude who likes cars, but I do know the e-brake is housed in the rear brakes. So I figured this issue that's going on with the e-brake had to have had something to do with BMW servicing these rear brakes. All right guys, so now that you see what I'm talking about, again, when that first happened, I did panic a little bit. You know, I was kind of worried. I was like, I've never dealt with an e-brake or fixing an e-brake before. I will say it did turn out to not be a big deal. So obviously, again, I kind of concluded it had something to do with BMW servicing the car. So I did call the service tech back again, and I told him basically what was happening, and right away he knew what happened. Basically what happened, and again, I do want to say this before, I'm no expert, I'm no mechanic, so if you guys know this stuff in a little more detail, feel free to elaborate in the comments down below, but I'm just going to kind of explain it like simplistically, at least the way that I understand it. So basically, since they service the rear brakes in the car, they basically like disengage the e-brake. That's more of like a mechanical process. It's not something with like the coding or the ECU of the car, like something you kind of go in, like, you know how you reset like your service indicator. It's not something like that. That's more digital. It's actually something mechanical in the brake brakes. So basically they disengaged the e-brake when they were servicing the rear brakes, and then when they were done, they never re-engaged it. Again, this is a super simplistic explanation. Hopefully I'm not even off base on this, but again, if anybody knows this in more detail or is a mechanic, if you want to elaborate on this, like, please feel free to down in the comments. I would actually find it interesting. I'm sure anyone else watching this video will too. Yeah, that's basically what happened. I mean, it is a simple fix. He just told me I have to bring the car back and they will re-engage it, but it's just a little frustrating, you know? Like, I took the car there. I understand I didn't pay for that service, but I did basically pay for it when I first bought this car. Like, I paid for it in advance with that maintenance package, so I still did pay for the service. It's not like they did me a favor and it's like, oh, you can't really complain, it was for free. Like, no, it really wasn't for free in a way, because I did pay for it way in advance. Anyways, this is a professional BMW dealership. It's not a small dealership either. It's a very large one that serves, honestly, like a pretty high income neighborhood. I'm not from that neighborhood, it's just the one that I go to is in that neighborhood, so you'd kind of expect like a certain level of like professionalism. So yeah, I don't know, the point is, like, it's just sort of like unprofessional. I know mistakes happen. I'm not saying, you know, like, oh, they should never make a mistake. I get it, mistakes do happen, but again, it is a little frustrating. You would expect sort of like a higher standard from a BMW dealership. Like, do you guys agree with that? Like, let me know down in the comments. Maybe I'm just being a little too harsh, but I don't know. Again, I just find it a little frustrating. At this point, the most frustrating part about it is I have to drive another half hour to go to the dealership just to wait there until they re-engage in and all that type of stuff and they fix it. Then I have to drive another half hour back home. So it is what it is. Yeah, anyways, guys, I just figured I'd make a video about it, just kind of like showing you guys my experience and whatnot. This channel is about car mods and building this car, but it is going to be about like anything else car related. So just my experience with this car. Hopefully I'll get to go to some like car meets and stuff like that, so film some other cool stuff. Not every video is just going to be a mod. But yeah, anyways, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this video. So hopefully you guys found it informative or entertaining. But yeah, anyways, drop me a like, leave me a comment down below, and as always, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.